Monosodium glutamate is adding flavor to your food, but many researchers believe it's also subtracting years from your life. Jack Samuels wonders how he's dodged the MSG bullet for 35 years.
I began to collapse towards the end of certain meals in restaurants. And frankly, I thought I was dying.
And he could have. A physician diagnosed him with atrial fibrillation.
That is, my heart becomes like jello and just beats all over the place. And it sometimes takes me up to 5 to 6 days to get over the attack.
But how could MSG be responsible? Dr. Russell Blaylock says it's because glutamate gets into the blood quickly and stays there. So a person eating MSG throughout the day can raise glutamate blood levels dangerously high.
With each meal, it rises, it stays elevated till you eat another meal, then it rises even further, and you eat another meal and it rises even further, and then it stays elevated through a good portion of the night.
Blaylock says even moderate blood levels of MSG can cause harm, partly because specific organs have actual biological triggers called glutamate receptors. A group of these receptors in the heart controls heart rhythm.
You can induce a fatal arrhythmia. That is, the heart beats abnormally and people can die from it. Well, arrhythmia is the #1 cause of death with heart attack. It's been noted in the medical literature for decades that people who die of sudden cardiac death frequently do so after a meal.
And Samuels, a retired hospital administrator, says ER doctors
immediately recognize that it may be an MSG reaction. Now, sadly, that knowledge has not gone up beyond the first floor.
In other words, most cardiologists don't know about the connection to MSG. And this can even happen to teen football players. Blaylock says glutamate, especially combined with magnesium deficiency, can produce this sudden death. Magnesium deficiency is very common. 2006 animal research shows that MSG damages blood vessels with substances known as free radicals. That can lead to clogged, weak arteries and blood clots.
With humans consuming it every day, not just a single injection, but every day, they're constantly increasing the free radical generation inside the walls of their blood vessels.
That's how most heart attacks and strokes come about. Research shows MSG attacks over 40% of the population in some obvious way: migraines, throat swelling, diarrhea, vomiting, irregular heartbeats. But what about the less obvious, even silent damage? Glutamate receptors on the lungs could explain the rising affliction of juvenile asthma.
This is one of the things agreed by everybody, is that it will produce worsening of asthma, even fatal asthma.
And don't forget the nasty plague of diabetes affecting tens of millions of Americans. There are glutamate receptors on the pancreas, which can lead to diabetes or loss of diabetic control once the disease is present. Blaylock has also studied cancer extensively and written a book for cancer patients. In the last 5 years, researchers have found many cancers have glutamate receptors.
The total picture is that if you're consuming a diet with glutamate in it, particularly high levels, you're making your cancer grow very rapidly. I refer to it as cancer fertilizer.
The cancers of this type include several brain cancers, colon cancer, breast cancer, and others as well. With all these afflictions, Jack Samuels felt he had to get the word out with a website called truthinlabeling.org, responding to questions from around the world.
I had a very sad email from a man in England whose daughter, 7 years of age, is suffering from extremely severe migraine headaches and seizures.
For Samuels and others who are concerned about avoiding MSG's impact on health, there is hope. As hard as navigating the grocery to avoid hidden MSG is, safe shopping is doable. Galen Tethrow, CBN News.